Okay, guys, hello. It is Nick Swain here, and I've starting a new series called Nick Swain News on my channel. It's basically when I find really good articles that I think are interesting. It may not be interesting to you guys, but this one I've been learning this year in AFL. But if there's any AFL fans out there, you guys know Ben Cousins. Ben Cousins was taking drugs while playing AFL, and there was this three strike policy that's now changed to a two strike policy. Joe Big Games and myself will get into that later down the line, like maybe next week or something when we meet up. Um, but the AFL hid it from everyone and never got in trouble for it. So last Tuesday night, Ben Cousins was arrested, charged with breaching a violence restraining order taken out by his former partner. So basically, he was being violent. He had a violent restraining order taken out. So basically, he was probably being violent to his former partner. The troubled former West Coast Eagles captain is now facing 6 charges for 3 separate incidents in the past 2 months. He's been in a lot of trouble recently. 38-year-old is accused of 2 counts of possessing methamphetamine, breaching bail for failing to appear in court in November, and 3 breaches to a violence restraining order. So basically, he's still doing drugs. He did a documentary, which came out about maybe 2 years ago, I think. That he was gonna think that it would, by bringing it out to the public, it would make him look good, and it would make everyone think that he stopped doing drugs, and all that, and it would make him think that he'd stopped doing drugs. But it's been released to the article that he's still doing drugs. He's been in jail quite a lot of times since that documentary. He's going to appear in Armidale Magistrates Court on Wednesday morning, so today, in relation to Tuesday's charge, yesterday, and is scheduled to appear for the remaining charges on December 13. The Brownlow medalist arrested at a Canning Vale home on Tuesday comes 2 weeks after he was released from Royal Perth Hospital suffering minor injuries from a late night car crash. So he was in a car crash, and he was released 2 weeks after this, from the Royal Perth Hospital. He had minor injuries. If you're not familiar with AFL, basically a Brownlow medal is a medal that's given out for like the best and fairest player throughout the whole competition. So like if you play rugby, soccer, or any type of those sports, AFL, well, you should know this if you're in AFL, but basically you'll know that at the end of the year you guys have an award ceremony where you guys vote, well, your parents and the umpires votes for their best and fairest player at the end of each round. So basically he won that. He won it a couple of times, I think. Police alleged he was in possession of methamphetamine at the time of the crash. So yet again, there's the word methamphetamine. Methamphetamine is an illegal drug if you're not sure what it is. I'm sure everybody knows what it is. In other words, crystal meth, ice, meth. He appeared in Perth Magistrates Court on November 25th following his hospital stint and was released on bail. So he got released on bail. There's Ben Cousins right there, getting bombarded with press. During the hearing, he appeared fidgety, coughing often, and standing up and sitting down repeatedly while in the dock. So basically they're saying that he was really nervous, he knows what he did wrong, and that, like, basically he knew he was stuffed. He knew that he's going back to jail. Cousins was originally arrested on October 17th at an address in Canning Vale and charged with 2 counts of breaching a violence restraining order taken out by the mother of his 2 children. Maylee Tinishev, I think that's how it's called, and also carrying methamphetamine. So it's going to be a lot. So he was granted bail on the condition he stayed 50 meters from his ex-partner's home and not contact her in any way from via text message to arrange visitation of his 2 children at age 3 and 5. So basically, this was probably the worst type of restraining order. So on restraining orders, sometimes you can like ask for visitation, but then you have to always, the person who got so the person who carried it out, so in this case it's Maylee Tinashev, she carried it out on Ben Cousins. So basically she has to say, oh look, I've arranged visitation for Ben Cousins. It can either say, yeah, if anything happens, then he'll get into more trouble, or police can also go to there as in like safety. So I think this is where we get into drug issues. So we're gonna have to go this through quickly. History of mental health, also drug issues. So this is where I'm going at. Cousins has had drug issues throughout his career and after it ended in 2010. So obviously he was a West Coast Eagles player, moved to Richmond. The fallen football star was last detained by police and then hospitalised in late June after interfering with traffic on Canning Highway in a Commodore while in a dazed state. Now, I'm not going to go through all this, but basically, he was always a drug addict ever since he started in the AFL to when he was from his end of AFL. He was always a druggo in other sense. The AFL would not do it. So you've always got to tell the AFL where he is, right? So basically, whenever the drug testers came to West Coast Eagles drug testing to test players, they could only test about 3 at each time, or 3 players at a single day at that club because obviously money reasons. But because the coach has to know that they're coming, the coach rung Ben Cousins and told him to stay home because obviously Ben Cousins was the best player in the AFL at the time, dominated the Brownlow medal votes, and because they didn't want to lose him, they rung him up and said, look, we're going to pretend that you're sick and you have had no way to contact them to say that you're sick, because obviously no matter what they have to go and drug test the players that they were going to drug test. So they said, oh look, he's very sick, he's gone to doctors, has no way to contact them, and he moved to Richmond. So he got traded to Richmond, and obviously the new drug testing thing came out, which was hair testing. That's another way that you can drug test people these days. And they were going to drug test him to make sure that he was clean while in the transition stages of going to Richmond. So he was like, oh, I'm going to the toilet. He spent like an hour in that. He was just shaving his head, shaving his beard, everything, so that they couldn't hair test him. Obviously they couldn't test pubes. That's just weird. But yeah, so that's basically the background of Ben Cousins, and as I've been reading it, he's been in trouble for yet again carrying methamphetamine, taking methamphetamine, and also breaching his restraining order, violence restraining order on his ex-girlfriend or ex-wife. So yeah, that's where we'll leave it today. If you've got any more suggestions where I should do any more, leave them down in the comments below. And if you liked this video, go smash that like button, and also hit that subscribe button and the notification bell next to it. Go check it out. My gaming channel recently hit 200 subscribers only yesterday, guys, as you might have known from the video that I uploaded on this channel as well. So guys, please go check it out. Hit the subscribe button on both channels, please. It would be very much appreciated. And see you all next time. Peace